Love, light, greetings, gratitude, blessings and blessings, beautiful soul family. My divinity to yours. Welcome and welcome back. I trust you are happy, healthy, hearty and haloed, shining brighter your light into the world. I thank you for your love light, your support, your appreciation, participation, clicks and comments. And importantly, our magnified, uniting light to uplift and shift people and planet into ascension. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 16/06/2024. Energies 30 reduced to 3. 6 from 16, 6 from June, and 24 from 2024 equals to 6. We arrive at 666. Yesterday, trooping the colour, the King's annual official birthday, the Sovereign's celebration, 15th June 2024. The vibration was 20, which is judgment, reduced to 2. 15 becomes 6, June is 6, and 24 is 6, another 666 vibration. We had the first 666 vibration, when I did the video on the runaway horses, London's runaway horses, that was published on the 29th of April, and you can go back and view that. So we've now had 3. 3 similar vibrations of 666. Today's date is 3. A triplication, a triplicate energy of a 666. I spoke in-depthly about the light and dark polarities of the 666, but very quickly I will highlight a few. The dark side of it is very apocalyptic. What? It is the Antichrist, it is the evil, the devil, the satanic, the beast energy. 6 is your base energy of mastery. 6 is the vibration of lovers, unconditional love in all areas of your life in Major Tarot. It also brings about spiritual balance and healing, right? Your divine connections between spirit and matter. So what we have in here is a war going on between light and dark. And another event of horses trooping the colour. Lots of horses yesterday. So where am I going with this? So much has happened in our readings lately, information and wisdom that was brought through by Spirit to expect unexpected events, occurrences, and of course potentials that are out there from agendas that were scripted behind scenes that will play out in timing accordance to the free will. I have done many recent readings, and what was pointed out was to go back and reflect on one of the readings where a number 14 and 15 were given, but it didn't appear as 14 and 15, it appeared as 15 and then 14. Now I do have 2 cards here I stand to be corrected if this was the deck used, right? I did not go back to look at it, but for the purpose of numeracy, this is what it is, and it would have appeared like that. So what happened on the 14th? Less than 24 hours, an announcement of Catherine's appearance at Trooping with a photo release, right? The impression here we get is a surprise, shocking news, something unbelievable. This card came up in a reading I did the other day, photograph. And that is what manifested on the 14th. What happened on the 15th? There's a terrace, a balcony. We saw a copy. This was the card to reflect the copy. That you will see the possibility of the staging of a copy of her. Now, if you look at the colors, they say, and what was the vibration of yesterday's date? It was 20, which reduces to 2. There's our 2. Two of the same. One crossed into spirit, one staged for all to see, for the world to see. Now look at the colors, black and white. Was that not the colors that you saw her wearing, black and white? So this is as clear an indication of what the divine has been expressing to us. Be careful and be conscious, be cognizant, be observant, be in your higher selves to see what they've been trying to tell us. Also asked to show you another card. This particular card of the children that will be groomed to appear, but they will not be happy. They were not happy to be out there. It was already told in advance. There's isolation, separation, sadness, right? But they are primed, trained, groomed, presented, all prettied up. Where? There's a balcony. So these were some of the cards I bring out to remind you of the information that had come through. But we've seen a lot of 6s in our readings, as many as 4 in some of the readings, to point out, be conscious of things taking place in that 6-6 vibration. And here we have it. I want to say thank you to each one of you listening for your participation in anchoring the light, by uniting in light to anchor the energy for the trooping event ahead of time and on the day. It has made an incredible, a cosmic difference that you have no idea, and Spirit is saying thank you. For all of you that are trusting and believing that something bigger and grander is taking place, but you must open your eyes, your spiritual eyes, above anything else, to identify all of the details that are being hidden from humanity. I thank each of you that had me in your thoughts yesterday. I felt your love. It is the first time in my life that I watched that event at intervals but at length, holding the energy for the day, for humanity, for the planet, sending love and light in torrents, that it in fact rained in torrents. And I can tell you from watching that event, the energy was somber. There was just gloom and glum in the collective vibration of that day. Yes, they were cheering, there was clapping and laughing. I did hear some of that. But that was people amongst themselves, not about the event. There was cheering when the carriages went by, when the guards went by, when the horses trooped by. Of course, that is cheering of the moment. It is not the collective cheer. It is not the collective excitement and joy that perhaps used to be. What I also noticed, and perhaps you can respond to that, is the pixelation of the background during filming. I saw a lot of distortion in the trees, in the atmosphere, and of course in the energy surrounding the event. Right? I am sure they hired expert contractors to film, to photograph the event. It is quite a spectacular global one, and of course they want to have the best people on board. So I asked, what is going on? And the answer is, it is a clear indication of how energy frequencies are playing out. What we don't normally see was now being revealed. The battle between light and dark energetically. Remember, I said, they will be feasting on energy. Such events at mass, be it one like this, be it a concert, be it a football match, create the best environment and opportunity to feast on humanity's energy. It is an energetic heist. It is a paradigm that they create, opening up energetic portals that they create to siphon your energy, to harvest your energy, to yield the highest potential of humanity's energy, and at the same time to disempower you, to diminish you into more vulnerability and enslavement. So all of that pixelation was distortion, where light was infiltrating to break those portals down. And it is there, you can see it. It is showing us how light was fragmenting and dismantling all of that dark systems. So, what else did I observe? Apart from the fact a copy was being staged to perfection to mislead the masses, a grand performance to the world, a gene-modified entity, very mechanical and programmed. And of course, I wished it was real. She was real. Would that not be such a miracle? But it was not. It was staged, a performance. And why did they do that? We've been told of possibilities, of probabilities, to quieten the masses from speculating. and to prove innocence, to prove that nothing was going on, that we are all crazy out there. At least the ones that are awake are crazy speculators and conspiracy theorists, right? Trying to create a storyline from something that is non-existent. It is to prove us wrong and to prove to the world that everything they said was right, was true, was honest. It is to gain traction. It is to put them back on the board, to get the points again, right? It is to recruit humanity's vote. It is to regain trust. It is to clean out the past and present a new slate. For who? For the one to be. That he's done nothing wrong and is not accountable for anything. So he can resume his place without suspicion. Right? Of late, the system was decreasing its popularity because of everything going on. Their secrecy, their contrived and doctored efforts, all of the negativity of illustrations and presentations that were out there with videos and sightings and pictures. And of course, the entire world was focusing the attention on one particular matter. Right? So in this one stage, effect, this performance, like we said, was to clear everything out in one sitting. And say, right, everything now can be put to bed, put to rest. We are clean and we can get on with the next phase, with the next step. To have had an announcement and not done this would have had the total opposite effect. And that is why we were bringing this message to you to say, as much as we're all anticipating an announcement, it is coming, and we said it's coming, and it's still coming, because this charade cannot go on for too long. But they needed to clean it out. They needed to clean and say, we have shown you, you have seen. Right? We have proven it. But from my vantage point, I observed little or no emotion in that event. Lack of warmth and interaction. She was appearing too convincing. Overly social. Right? Unusually interactive with the king. I've not watched previous events, right? But perhaps you know, does she stand next to the king? Does she have that much interaction? Because that's what I was getting. That's unusual. But if not, then he wanted her next to him for the purpose of the focus of cleaning out everything of the past and saying, here she is talking to me alive and well, and I'm happy and she's happy and everything is perfect. And that's what it was about. How odd I found it that same type of interaction did not happen with her husband. Right? And what I'm saying is in quotation. Why not? His face was riddled with guilt. And I already brought you a message saying from Catherine's spirit that that's his face. And it was visible to the world, his guilt. If you can see between the lines, the hidden layers, you can identify that that was a very unhappy face that was guilty and could not wait for that event to be over with. A hat that was covering the view between the two of them The world wants to see you. Why would you wear a hat? To me, Spirit says, look at the hat. Why would you cover yourself up in one direction? Why would you not allow yourself to have clarity of view and to be viewed clearly? So there was a great distance between the two of them, absolutely cold and unemotional. But what I found even more, but I am saying this, right? I know a lot that Spirit has said, and I would never discount the word of the divine. But there are times when I bring myself out of that knowingness, and as ordinary and simple is to view it like I know nothing more. And I thought, let me view. That's why I watched. It's not an event I would be happy to watch. I don't spend lengths of time entertaining myself with things like that, but I was put there for a reason. And I needed to view it like an ordinary spectator. And what I am giving you information from that vantage point. The children appeared extremely unlike themselves. Let us start with little Louis, right? Is that not his mommy's favorite? Is he not the mommy's favorite, right? Catherine's favorite. Usually he's close to her. Yes, we saw a few acts of animation. He had moments, animated moments. He had his little, dance that he was doing, or a jive that he was doing, moving his body, which is good. For me, that's an indication of mental stability. He's still in his element. He's around. There is still Louis in there. That was the tick in the box for me. Seeing his face, from uploading pictures of him lately, I got to identify his personality. So that for me was a delight. Charlotte looks despaired, distant. And I did remember seeing, or recall seeing, that she made a gesture, Catherine made a gesture of some kind. I don't know if it was touching her shoulder or her hair or something in the back of Charlotte, and she did not even respond or turn around or feel anything. And George for me is a big concern. He looked traumatized. He looked completely on a different level, on another level, completely different, like he was not even part of that event. There was a time when I noticed that he bowed his head as if he was going into deep thought or deep prayer, or he was saying something mentally. He was just engaged in himself, and he was feeling, I felt, the most awkward from the three children. He was just like an ornament placed there. Everything around the children and around them as a family was just cold, unemotional, distant, isolated, and very calculated, as if they were all groomed for their parts. And let me say that the children's reaction clearly reflects truth. Right? Their faces, their demeanor, their personality on the day, their interaction and no interaction speaks volumes, because that should be, to me, an exciting, joyous occasion or an event to be out there. And they should be on the top of themselves with joy, elated, and expressing it, even though they may need to be disciplined and behaving themselves. But you would see that in their facial expression, and that was not visible at all. So the children are clear indicators of something that is hidden, something that is not real, something that is being staged. And they are not happy at all. What I also noted was, especially with Catherine, right? The public has not seen you for such a long time, and you were anticipated. The greatest joy it brought through the announcement that sent waves of glee out to the population, all anxious, anticipated, waiting to see you. But her demeanor didn't even respond to the public with that kind of joy and excitement. You know, in terms of the waving, the excitement to see people, I didn't feel that, and I didn't notice too much waving. You know, but I do know that if she had to raise her hand, like how Diana could raise her hand, she would literally summon cyclones. That's the power of energy Diana emanated. Now, Catherine, after this amount of time, you would think if she raised her hand to wave to the public, you would create a similar type of effect. But I wasn't feeling that at all. Perhaps I missed it in the viewing, but energetically, I didn't feel that. She, to me, as the system, the firm had projected somebody that had surgery, somebody that is undergoing preventative cancer therapy, chemotherapy, somebody that has been extremely ill, that was not meant to be seen anytime soon, projected even to be unseen right into next year, appeared to be so trim, slim, lean, clean, and perfect, not giving an indication of an illness at all. So if that's not an eye-opener for people, that something is wrong, that something is untoward, then we are sleeping. But we are sleeping because too much of fake and false was projected out there on this particular illness. And then suddenly we have a doll, a perfect doll, mannequin, staged up. I know cancer people, and they may have stopped their chemotherapy, and still years later, they do not look like that. They've not recovered. Not at all. It changes your life in such a dramatic way, and I know that it takes a different effect on different people's bodies, given your age, given your other health conditions. And trust me, I'm not judging here, but this is too perfect. This is a perfect doll that was placed there. What I also noticed was Camilla's expression. I just got a very quick view of Camilla's face, looking in Catherine's direction. I don't recall, it happened very quick and the camera moved away, but the focus moved away from that. You know, I'm not sure if Catherine was talking or the king was talking with her, but I just got to see Camilla's face, and that was just an unpleasant, piercing, sharp look that didn't feel right. And I had the same very quick view before the camera moved focus on Sophie's face and Anne's face, looking in Catherine's direction when she was talking to the king. And they looked like, oh my goodness, awed, shocked, as if like everyone else got the news at the time and actually got to see her only on the day. Didn't get to see her before. You know, it's like such a shock. That was one of the most coldest, Spirit is saying, so cold that the energy of that day, yesterday's energy, goes down in history. Goes down in history. It was never the energetic, collective vibration for an event like that recorded ever before. As much as a lot was staged in the past, this is an energy that goes down in history. This particular event was nothing like anything else. That even the royals, the senior royals, the other members of the family that were there were cold and distant and isolated and just too proper. And the only two people that you can see interacting as much was Catherine and the king. That everyone else was seemingly awed by this closeness, sudden closeness. It was like they were in shock. That's the energy I felt, is a great uneasy feeling of, oh my God, oh my goodness. That's what I kept feeling. Unexpected. What I want to share is something peculiar. Very late last night, and this happened after, well, let me say to you first, I've already been under attack with all the comments. A few of the comments that have come through, labeling, judging, and criticizing, and it did break me to a point of feeling that I'm having this with spirit. You know, I said to you, Divine, this is not what I want to do. You asked me to come online and lead people into light, help them, walk with them, guide them. And that was my journey for this channel. And then this entire royal saga came about, and I was thrust into this. And it was not something I was comfortable to do. And look at what's happening now. Now I am feeling the pain of what is happening for all this work that I brought through from you to share with others, to create an awareness. And what I was told, you don't work for the dark ones, you work for me. You are doing my work. You are speaking truth from my guidance. You are speaking my truth. I'm expressing through you. You are my voice, like there are others. Their comment, their opinions don't matter. Do not let it affect you. See above that and rise. So I thought, okay, easier said than done. Yes, but you've done this many times in your life. Yes, I know that, but this is different. This is a public platform. And then I got told, what happened to Jesus and other masters that have come? Did they not come to teach love and truth and honesty and unity? And what happened to them? The dark ones took them out because they want to stay dark. So, you are a strong soldier. I have chosen you like I've chosen others. And you go ahead and do what you need to do. You are not the only one having to deal with this. There are others. I said, yes, I'm aware of that. And we are painted in the worst light. Spirit says, the karma is not on you, it's on them. They will face, and they will learn the truths. The time will come. So very late last night, after having to go through all of that emotion, I got in my vision seeing William at the balcony door, half in, half out. The impression I got is that he's there ahead of time, waiting for the carriage procession to finish and the return of everyone. But while he's there, he's high-fiving a few of his closest, let's call them the PR team, right? The mentors or the counsels or his very personal assistants and so on, that there's approximately 3 or 4. I don't see them, but I feel the energy of as many. And he high-fives them and they high-five him back. And the words that were given is, I can't believe we pulled it off. And then I heard, we pulled it off. And then I said, Spirit, that's it. That's it. That's more than enough for you to pick me up, to remind me of this darkness, this absolute darkness, that we need to have a voice to get out there and continue to shine our light and bring this darkness to its knees. I do not speak high-fiving. So for me, that was peculiar. But they said that's how he spoke. So we've pulled it off. Beautiful family, I have done and will continue to do the work of Spirit, Divine Spirit. I will continue to bring you messages that are needed, and of course, from your comments, your requests, as best as I can, to give you the readings that are needed. There is only a minority, 0.01% of light workers. Therefore, the burden is very big, it is very heavy. There is only 1% of the human population that are humans. Of the world's population, pardon me, that are actually humans. The rest are gene-modified, purebreds, dragon reptiles, and part of human and reptilian. I have brought you information on those topics, specifically as guided by Spirit. Why? To prepare your minds into understanding what is coming. I gave a lot of time for you to ingest from one video to the next. I have given you tools and techniques and methods to raise your vibration and consciousness, to protect yourself, so that you are able to activate your higher consciousness and see things differently and be unaffected by what is happening out there. I have kept my promises. I have done the work. I have equipped you. Why? Because I care. Because Spirit cares. And none of that work is in vain. It is now your turn to be in your light, to see what is truth, and let us go forward in bringing that truth into reality. We are not alone. It may seem so, but we are not alone. There is a lot happening at a quick pace. In a matter of 6 months, so much has taken place that has brought a great deal to light. Everything tried before could not succeed. Why? Because you and I and others like us were intercepting energy and dismantling darkness. So let this be your reminder of your power. Let us take the lessons that our grand masters have taught us, Lord Jesus, Lord Buddha, and many more. Let their teachings, their love, their unconditional divine spirit shine through us. Rise above the madness. There is so much going on. We might see the copy of a future queen and think, oh my goodness, this can't be real. She is real and it's unbelievable. Go and listen to the cloning video. And let me say something. Celebrities and politicians have been walking the earth exactly that way for years. And you did not know it. You had suspected it. And now you would come to realize, yes, it is. But you did not know it in the past. So it's been practiced for a long time. But this particular one is going down in history. Right? From my heart, my spirit, my divinity can only encourage you to understand where I'm coming from. It is your choice. You can walk away and be on your way. It is your choice, and I will bless you in love and light and still continue to do what I am here to do. Alternatively, you can unite and share this message with many others and lead them to the videos of freeing from the 3D matrix, learning what these entities are, understanding what cloning is, so that they can become observant and cognizant of understanding this dark regime, this hive mind that is controlling the masses, that is zombifying populations. And we, as beacons, as light workers, torch bearers, light warriors, the avatars that are shielding ourselves, our family, the planet, humanity. We have done incredible work already. And I thank you that we may continue our mission here. We have watched this nonsense play out in generations, and we didn't have much of a voice then. We now have it. Your voice is an expression, a priceless tool. You need to use it. Your intention with your heart, combined with your higher consciousness, will make magic, create miracles. Be that human unicorn with your beam of light shining in front of you, clearing your way so that you know where you are. Do not be fooled by what is happening. We have already been fooled and enslaved and disempowered and dropped into poverty, into lust, into victim consciousness. Rise above that. Create the templates for a new world. Bring paradise onto the planet. Secure the energy for our children, our grandchildren, and that you and I, in a future life, may reincarnate as the great-grandchildren. And know that your help is stamped and sealed in the Akashic. Togetherness in kindness, for our happiness and Earth's wellness. A cosmic oneness and divine foreverness. Beautiful hearts, family of light. I love, love, love you. I thank you. And I bless, bless, bless you and your loved ones, always, in all ways. Until next.